On this episode of It's Me or the Dog, Victoria meets Latoya and Damien and their 9-month-old puppy, Mr. Black.
I'm Latoya. Mr. Black, get here.
Latoya fell in love with Mr. Black's sweet face.
I just saw him and thought he was just the cutest thing.
But as he's grown, so is the couple's problems.
Now we're afraid to, bring him around people and kids.
He's uncontrollable on and off the leash. Vicious at mealtimes.
That made me jump.
And has chewed them out of house and home. Can Victoria bring some peace to this household?
I've never, ever seen a dog do that before.
I just thought we were doing it right.
The blame really lies with you.
Or will Mr. Black have them all seeing red? Victoria Stilwell has over 13 years' experience training dogs in Great Britain and the USA. Today, she's on her way to meet Latoya and Damien and their 9-month-old German Shepherd mix, Mr. Black.
Leaving your puppy alone for 9 hours a day, 5 days a week, can lead to destructive behavior and emotional distress. If you also don't take the time to train your puppy, you cannot blame it if its behavior gets out of control.
Before Victoria begins training, she'll spend a day observing the couple and Mr. Black.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, I'm fine. Hello. Hey.
Puppy, come back in here.
Oh, oh dear. Oh
back in
dear.
here.
Was he? Hello.
I'm Latoya.
okay.
Mr. Black, get here.
Oh,
Mr.
I'm
Black.
Mr. Black, come back.
Mr. Black, Mr. Black.
Latoya had to chase after Mr. Black and get him to come back into the apartment. I mean, thank goodness they are living in an apartment and not right on a road.
Okay.
Mr. Black, yes, he...
I was definitely happy that Victoria saw the way Mr. Black acts when anyone comes to the door, so she can see firsthand the type of behavior he exhibits and just fix it.
And where did you get him from?
Latoya was surfing the internet, and she found him online somewhere, I'm not sure.
Yeah, he was just the cutest thing, and I was like, oh, I have to have him.
Look at you. What's wrong with you? Nothing's wrong with you.
Don't be fooled.
Yeah.
Yeah, taking care of Mr. Black can be kind of difficult just because we both work full-time.
How long are you guys away at work?
I'm usually gone for about 9 hours.
Hey. So, has he been by himself since he was a young pup?
Yes.
9 hours a day. Oh. Okay. Okay. Who gave him his name?
Mr. Black is a character in my favorite TV show.
Damien insisted the dog had to be named Mr. Black.
One problem they've had since the get-go is Mr. Black's aggression at mealtime.
Ready to eat, puppy? Here you go. Hold on. Don't touch my food. Like,
Whoa.
That made me jump.
and it's not like I'm trying to
Don't
take
get
away his
bitten.
food.
Don't
It's
get
just,
bitten.
it's just that, I'm just like coming to say, hey. I'm just coming to see if he's okay.
Well, I would say that that's a real food god there.
Yeah.
Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah, he loves to eat. Is he peeing?
He's peeing.
Oh, he just peed. Wow. So that's another expression of his discomfort with you being around his food. And it's fascinating because I've never ever seen a dog do that before.
Really?
Ever. See them eating and you come and stroke them, they growl and they pee.
Oh my God.
But I know why it's happened.
Uh-huh.
It was really interesting for me to see the behavior of Mr. Black around his food bowl. He peed. I haven't seen that before. That showed me that Mr. Black's very, very confused, that he's protecting his food, but he's anxious about it too.
After lunch, it's time for Mr. Black's daily walk.
Right. So do you find it difficult to walk him? This looks pretty okay at the moment.
Yeah, right
Yeah,
now.
right
I don't
now.
know, he's not acting up, but this is not really normal.
This isn't
he
typical at
typically
all.
pulls a lot.
Usually, Latoya is unable to control Mr. Black on the street, leaving Damien to pick up the slack.
So, okay, so that's why you walk him mostly because...
She can't, yeah.
Bye.
Uh-huh.
bubbles.
There he goes.
It's not long before Mr. Black decides to pick up the pace.
What are they doing?
Whenever Mr. Black and I go for a walk, he always pulls me. I'm always like running just to catch up with him. Victoria was able to see how far Mr. Black pulls me. And I mean, she was so behind me. I couldn't even stop him to catch up with her, for her to catch up with me. And we could just let him kind of like run around so he can burn off some energy.
Do you want to let him off then?
Okay.
Mr. Black is happy to run and play in the park, but trouble begins when it's time to head home.
If you wanted to get him back right now, what would you do? Just show me.
Mr. Black. Mr. Black.
Mr. Black, come here. Mr. Black. Mr. Black.
Woo, this is a fun game.
Mr. Black. Mr. Black, I got a treat. I got a treat, Mr. Black. Look.
Mr. Black.
Finally, when he decides he's ready, Mr. Black allows Latoya to put him back on the leash.
I get so sick of chasing Mr. Black around in the park. Sometimes it takes 2, 3, 5, up to 10 minutes to catch him when he's on a roll.
Okay, let's walk back.
Back at the house, Damien's friend Monte stops by for a visit.
So, sir.
Hey.
Hey.
Calm down now. There you go.
And gets a very excited welcome.
Hey.
Oh, there you go. Mr. Black gets really excited when new people come into his place. And Mr. Black has a problem of mouthing people when they come through the door. All your friends get greeted like this?
Yeah, that's a typical response if they're jumping on them.
How do you play with him?
I typically play with him pretty rough. He likes to play tug of war, and since he has so much energy, like playing with him rough is the easiest way to kind of tire him out.
Here to you.
Oh, that was, yeah. If they play so roughly with Mr. Black, they're actually teaching him to use his mouth roughly.
Victoria got to see a small taste of how rough he gets sometimes when we play. It gets frustrating sometimes because he bites accidentally. You get extremely upset because it hurts.
But of all Mr. Black's bad habits, the most upsetting is his destructive chewing.
Anything he can get to, he'll get to. It's pretty much gone.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, he's torn up our clothes.
Cords.
After Mr. Black left their last apartment in ruins, Latoya and Damien are terrified that the same thing will happen again.
The destruction is big time. He did have a puppy alone for a large part of the day in the apartment when he's teething. So of course he's gonna chew.
I just thought we were doing it right, you know?
I know.
We were trying our best, you know? It's just now he just has these issues. And now we're afraid to, you know, bring him around people and kids and stuff like that. And now he's a problem dog.
He has a few issues, but they're issues that can be worked on, believe me. Latoya was upset because she felt like she was a bad puppy parent. Now, in one respect, yes, they were. They don't understand what that puppy needed, and the puppy's on its own for 9 to 11 hours. That's absurd.
Coming up, Victoria gives Latoya and Damien a wake-up call.
What were you thinking?
I don't know.
Well, you didn't think. Seriously.
Victoria Stilwell has had a full day to observe Latoya and Damien and their 9-month-old puppy, Mr. Black.
Whoa.
That made me jump.
Now she wants to sit down for a serious discussion.
He's a fantastic dog. He really is, and I think he's going to be great to work with. But there are obviously a lot of things that need to change. He's a real destructive chewer. Terrible on walks. He's guarding his food. He gets very excitable when people come through the door. Now, Mr. Black has caused approximately $2,000 worth of damage in your old apartment. Now you've moved into this lovely new apartment, you're worried that he's gonna do the same thing here. And yeah, you better be worried. If you don't change your ways with him, he's going to do it. Now, I have to ask, what were you thinking getting a 9-week-old puppy when you knew that both of you were at work all day and also at school?
You mean, what was she thinking?
Oh, well, you got him. I don't know. I don't think I really thought about all that. I just saw him and thought he was just the cutest thing, and I just had to have him.
Well, you didn't think. Seriously, if I put you in a room when you were a baby by yourself, what would it have done to you?
Drive me nuts.
It would drive you a bit crazy. It would make your behavior a little hyperactive. It would give you anxiety. Like, where is everybody? Where are they? I'm alone. Okay?
I didn't know he was gonna be so much work, you know? I mean, I don't know what the alternative would have been, so the only option we had was to leave him at home.
Yeah. Or the other option was to not get a dog in the first place. Or not get such a young dog. You didn't really want a dog yet. Latoya kind of brought you around a little bit. Now, you're the one doing most of the work. How does that make you feel?
I get angry at her a lot because I'm like, I told you. Why wouldn't you listen to me?
Okay. All that I've heard since I've been here is Mr. Black does this, Mr. Black does that, and the blame is on him. And now do you see that the blame really lies with you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where we gotta start from that point. And what you can do, because you are gonna have to work hard, believe me. It's gonna take a massive effort to get this dog back on track. Okay, so you ready?
Yes. Right now.
Good.
Victoria is going to jumpstart Mr. Black's training with a course in Obedience 101.
I want to build up some new behaviors in him. Now, the more a dog is rewarded for a behavior, the more the behavior is going to occur. Sit. Good boy.
Latoya and Damien have already taught Mr. Black to sit and lay down.
Down.
Now, Victoria adds 2 new commands.
Good boy. Mr. Black is a smart dog and he learned very, very quickly. He needs that mental stimulation so badly. Stand, good boy. The more mental stimulation you give a dog, the less badly behaved it will be, the tireder it'll be. A tired dog is a happy dog. What we're learning is called puppy push-ups. It's a whole little sequence. Sit, down, up, stand. Watch my hand signals. Good. Down. Good boy. Up. Good boy. Stand. Very good. The whole idea about puppy push-ups, good exercise, dogs focusing on you, and just gives a kind of nice little related chain of behaviors so that the dog is finally working for you. Stay.
Latoya and Damien have also taught Mr. Black the stay command.
Stay.
But they've only been successful at getting him to stay for a couple of seconds.
Stay. I wanted just to use the stay command and see if I could open the door with him just staying in one place, and I did it. And I actually have to say I was amazed that he did stay in one place.
He was responding so well to that command. I was ecstatic.
Very good. Good boy.
It's Latoya's turn to practice the puppy push-ups. But first, a very necessary lesson on jumping.
Notice, each time he jumps up at me, he doesn't get anything, okay? Now, what you're doing when he jumps up is sometimes you reinforce it, give him a little cuddle and a little or other times when you're telling him to get off, say, get down. And that's just gonna make him jump even more, because these are chew toys, yay, whoa. See? Jumping is completely ignored. And in fact, he gets your back and not your front.
Latoya takes over the training using the hand signals, verbal commands,
Up.
and the reward.
Good. I reward him.
Good boy.
He never, ever listens to Latoya, so it was good to see her finally get some sort of a command and control over him.
Doesn't matter, he still stood. I don't care.
I felt like we really were bonding, like he really was understanding me. Down.
Good. I really liked the way Latoya trained. She was in the zone. Her voice was calm, her focus was direct, her hand signals were clear, her body language was strong and confident. I don't think she even realized it, but she's a natural trainer. You're now starting to give him a good canine education.
Okay.
After Mr. Black has a rest, Victoria begins to address his behavior on walks, beginning with a new harness.
Most harnesses cause the dog to pull more, but there are a couple of types of harnesses, including the one I used today, that actually reduce pulling. Basically, when he pulls, his body comes round. And he goes, okay, that was strange. All right, pulls again and his body comes around. So then he doesn't pull and he keeps walking straight.
Okay.
That's the general premise. I don't just want to rely on the harness itself. I want to train him how to walk well on a leash. I'm also going to praise him. Oh, good boy. Very much when he's by my side. I'm walking him on my left-hand side. There. Lovely. And as I walk, I'm just putting a treat in front of his mouth, just telling him this, as it were, an imaginary box on my left-hand side. If you're in that box, good things happen to you. It's great to walk by me, not in front of me. It's great to walk by me. Praise him when he's by your side.
Latoya takes over using treats and praise to keep Mr. Black walking at her side.
This way.
Then it's Damien's turn.
Don't let him jump up at it. Keep your hand down to him. There you go, if you're gonna have the treat. That's it, much better.
This way.
Good.
This way.
Damien and Latoya practiced several times, then we took it out to the street. The street is much harder because there's a lot more distractions, there are a lot more smells for Mr. Black to smell. This is nice walking. As soon as he pulls me, I'm just gonna say this way and go in the other direction. This way. Good. This way. Good.
As soon as Latoya takes over,
Okay.
Mr. Black is up to his old tricks.
That's it, turn in the other direction.
This way.
But the new harness helps reduce his lunging
around again.
and allows Latoya to easily switch direction.
Good.
Good dog. Good boy.
Again.
Every now and then he tried to pull or walk ahead of us, but it was important that we continue to reinforce that he needs to stay by our side. I can actually walk him.
Yeah.
Coming up,
Good boy.
Victoria wants to take the heat out of meal times. But will Mr. Black like what's on the menu? Victoria Stilwell has been putting 9-month-old Mr. Black through doggy boot camp.
Good dog. Good boy.
Now she wants to focus on playtime.
The way that Latoya and Damien play with Mr. Black, I think is verging on the point of dangerous.
Oh, that was, yeah.
He's very mouthy. He doesn't really understand bite strength. So I think we have to give Tug a rest and do more appropriate interactive play. When you're really roughhousing with him and you're kind of pushing him away and you're like, these just become chew toys.
Not being able to horseplay with Mr. Black and bond with him the way I'm used to bonding with him is gonna be a little bit difficult for me.
From now on, mouthing stops play, communication, attention, everything.
Okay.
Instead of roughhousing, Victoria has a new way to play with Mr. Black.
So these are some great interactive toys. And what it does is it stimulates the dog mentally. This is just to give him some good mental stimulation. You're interacting with him, you're playing with him, but you're not causing him to get overexcited and to go nuts and to bite you.
Okay.
Gets the dog to work for their food. Rather than just have it in a bowl, work.
Okay.
I'm going to put some treats in this hole here, put it down on the ground, and let him get the treats. His guarding issues could come out here with this, so that's something you do have to be aware of. I first of all made it easy for Mr. Black to find the treats, and then I began to hide them in different spots where Mr. Black had to either push something with his nose or with his paw. He's using his scenting abilities, which is very important. That's stimulating his brain. Good boy, you're getting it.
To switch things up a bit, Victoria has Damien introduce a second toy.
What do you think about these toys?
Well, I think he loves them. He loves anything where he can get some food, and this is new for him too, so he's very curious right now.
Yeah.
Mr. Black is engrossed in the toy, and Victoria notices another good sign.
There's food in there, and you stroked him, and he didn't do anything. So good. The fact that he's playing with his owners, and there's food in the toy, they can touch him and play with him is really, really important. That's beginning to desensitize their presence to his food.
Encouraged by Mr. Black's progress, Victoria feels it's time to tackle the issue of food guarding head-on.
One of Mr. Black's most severe behaviors is his food aggression around his food bowl. And that's something you've got to take care of. The secret is, instead of him seeing your presence around his food bowl as competition, I want him to see your presence around the food bowl as something gets added to it.
Okay.
Ah, there you go. Okay. So he probably thinks I put some food in his bowl. I put it down there. That's weird. Nothing in it. Oh, you want some food, do you? Good boy. Good boy. This is teaching him I am in charge of the food. I am the provider, not the taker away. I provide. And when he looks at me, he gets more. Oh, good boy. Good boy.
The next step is to move even closer in a non-threatening way.
I'm gonna sit here. I want Mr. Black to see that me being close to the food bowl is not a threat to you. Now here, you'd be tempted to stroke him, but I just wouldn't. It's gonna take at least a week, so I don't want you to touch him or anything. Well, that's very good, isn't it? Pick up the food bowl, good boy.
With lunch out of the way, Victoria wants to take the training back outside and address Mr. Black's off-leash shenanigans.
Brought you to this park because we're going to do a bit of recall training. I want to teach Mr. Black coming back doesn't mean you're going to be put on the leash and taken home. Coming back to your owner means that you're going to get good things, and then you're going to get to play again. So here.
First, Victoria allows Mr. Black to let off some steam.
Remember, timing is important. When he's in the act of letting off steam like this, it wouldn't be good to call him.
Then, Victoria introduces a new game to get Mr. Black to come when he's called.
Mr. Black! Here! Here! See? Great way. Good. Wait a second. Sit. Up. Sit. Good boy. Go get it. Great way of getting your dog to come right back to you. It's always really important to have two balls so that when he's playing with one, you've got the other, and that always makes the game interesting.
Now, it's Latoya's turn.
Try not to get him to jump up. That's it. We're getting him calm.
Sit.
Yeah. Good dog. Lovely. Now, one thing we have to be careful of is we don't want to set up a chain of behavior. When he comes up to you, if he leaps and sits, he doesn't get the ball.
Okay.
You do what you just did. Take the ball away from him. There you go. If he comes up to you and he sits, he gets the ball.
Okay.
So we don't form that chain.
Mr. Black?
Whoa. Walk away. That's it. Good. Good. Lovely. But what you were doing, great. Your body's like, I liked it.
Okay.
Very good, very good. Any questions on what we've done?
Well, one of my concerns was you said that we couldn't play rough with Mr. Black in the house. I guess the way I play with Mr. Black and kind of horseplay with him, that's kind of like my time to bond with him. Because the toys, you know, it's fun for him, but it's not for me.
You might not feel like it's the greatest game, but for him it is. And if you want him to be successful, you got to kind of put your own sort of feelings and emotions on the back burner for a while and go, okay, I'm going to help my dog.
One of my concerns is that, you know, I wasn't gonna be able to bond with Mr. Black as I normally do, but I just have to keep reminding myself that it's not about me, it's about Mr. Black.
Coming up, Mr. Black goes on a field trip.
Up, stay.
But can he take the pressure?
Uh-oh.
Dog expert Victoria Stilwell has been working with Latoya and Damien and their rambunctious 9-month-old puppy, Mr. Black.
Mr. Black?
Whoa.
Today, she's bringing Mr. Black to a training center to reinforce some of the commands he has learned at home.
All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do this course. And at each station, as it were, you have to do what it says on the cone. I just wanna take him through the course. Sit. Good boy. This way. Good boy. Down. Good boy. This way.
Oh, wow.
Sit. Good boy. Stay. 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 Come. There's a good boy. All right, that's really good. Awesome. Mr. Black did really well with the whole course. All right, Damien, I'd like you to have a go now.
Okay. Sit. Good, Mr. Black. Boy. Stay. Good boy. Good boy. Okay.
So far, Mr. Black is cruising through the course.
Down.
Good. I like that. Well done.
Up.
But suddenly, he hits a roadblock.
Uh-oh. Down. Uh-oh. Down.
I like that. Well done.
Up. Uh-oh.
Walk into him a bit so he has to sit up.
Up.
Good.
Stand.
Move back as you do it
Stand.
to show him the treat and wait. That's it.
Good boy.
All right?
Come. Come on. Hey, good boy.
That was awesome. Damien did the course brilliantly. He had everything down pat. You know why that was so good?
Why?
Your tone of voice was fabulous. He gave the right kind of praise, the right kind of motivation. You're on it, and he's listening to you. I thought that was fantastic.
It's really important for me to have a strong bond with my dog, so the fact that I'm able to communicate with him effectively makes me happy.
Back at the house, Victoria wants to give Latoya and Damien some tips on how to prevent more costly damage to their apartment.
In order for you to stop the destruction in your house, you are going to have to break up the monotony of his day. You're going to give him his meal, give him his breakfast, but give him maybe like 3/4 of his breakfast.
Okay.
And the rest of it goes in here. Put that in the freezer and give it to him when you leave. That's going to keep him happy for a while. It's really important that psychologically, Mr. Black have something to do during the day. Because Mr. Black is so young, he needs to be occupied when his owners aren't there. And then what time could you come back for lunch, Damien?
I can usually break any time between noon and 1 o'clock.
And how long could you spend back here?
Probably about 45 minutes.
Okay, because in that time, take him out for a walk, you know, have some good endurance exercise. You need to do that. After you come back for lunch, you've taken him for a walk, you leave, and then an hour later, this, which is an automatic toy dispenser, dispenses a toy. So you can set that up by getting one of your frozen toys, putting it in there. Here it's there. And then putting it on a high level so he can't get to it.
I thought Victoria's suggestions of giving Mr. Black the durable toys, putting food in it, treats in it, and freezing it was a really good idea because Mr. Black loves to eat. So I knew that that would keep him occupied.
Oh my
I thought the little toy dispenser that Victoria showed us was awesome. If we're away from the apartment for a while and then all of a sudden a new toy kind of drops on him, I know he'll be excited and that'll keep him occupied for just a little bit longer.
Coming up, Latoya takes training into her own hands.
I feel I know Mr. Black better than Victoria.
No petting him, Latoya.
Good boy.
Are you kidding me?
Victoria Stilwell has been training Latoya and Damien's German Shepherd mix, Mr. Black.
Good boy.
Now, it's time for her to leave them with Mr. Black on their own for a few days, but not without assigning them some homework.
First of all, Latoya, when I come back, I want to see that you'll carry on with the obedience training. Make sure you do not stroke Mr. Black when you are doing the feeding training with him.
Okay.
Don't be tempted.
Okay.
The last thing here is the confessional cam. And you can document any of your thoughts. And if you want to do a bit of secret filming, when you think Latoya's not looking, I give you permission. There you go, Damien.
Cool.
So I will see you soon.
Okay.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye. Got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, you better not be letting them jump on you.
You
And
better not try to tell. You better not
me.
tell me either. Okay.
It's the first day without Victoria, and Damien is keeping on track with the schedule.
Coming home from work every day, I get to take Mr. Black out on a walk. It's your favorite spot. And then before I leave, I can bust out a new toy for him to play with. All right, Mr. Black, going back to work. You, Mr. Black.
And together, the couple practices recall training in the park.
Come here, baby. Come here.
The recall in the park is going pretty well. Mr. Black. I believe with time that he will begin to respond to us even when we're not waving a toy in his face. Good, Mr. Black.
After some physical exercise, it's time for mental stimulation. First with interactive toys, then obedience training.
Up. Stand. Oh, good boy.
Later in the week, Victoria checks in on Latoya and Damien's progress with Mr. Black. Today, they're practicing the leash training,
You're walking too fast.
but Latoya's quick to get frustrated.
This way. Come on.
Latoya wants things to happen so quickly, so patience is just her biggest issue.
Here, he's pulling a lot. Here, you do it.
Latoya, the walking training is really improving, but you have to be patient because it takes time.
And later during mealtime, the couple just can't seem to agree.
No, but you told us to do this too.
Yeah, but I think this is easier.
This morning when we were feeding Mr. Black, I had to fuss at Latoya a little bit.
Some more? Here you go.
She was feeding Mr. Black out of her hand, but that's not what Victoria told us to do. Why are you doing that? She didn't say do that.
Well, I mean, it still gets him comfortable with me touching his food.
Well, I mean, you should probably ask Victoria if that's okay.
Damien's being a little nitpicking about stuff, everything that I do with Mr. Black. Victoria said not to do that. You know, but whatever. Good boy.
I specifically told you, Latoya, not to touch him while he's eating.
No petting him, Latoya.
Oh, my bad. This is easier just doing it like this. Jump.
It looks like neither Latoya or Damien are following directions very well.
Jump, Mr. Black.
I don't have any objective in particular with the jumping. I just think it would be something cool to show off to my friends.
Are you kidding me? Why are you getting Mr. Black to jump when that is the very one thing we're trying to stop?
And soon enough, Latoya is right back to her old habits.
I picked up the camera today just to get an example. She still was doing things like playing the tug of war with the rope with Mr. Black, like Victoria told us specifically not to do. And I told Latoya, but she didn't care. She wanted to keep going.
What did I tell you? Do not rough play with him.
I know my dog, and I know how we play and how we love each other, and that's a big thing for me. I don't think that I'm going to really stop.
Oh my gosh, Latoya, what are you doing?
Victoria has been doing this for a long time. I feel I know Mr. Black better than Victoria, though.
I really need to get back to Latoya and Damien to straighten a few things out.
Dog trainer Victoria Stilwell is returning to set Latoya and Damien straight.
Stay. Stay. Stay.
Hey.
Clearly, Mr. Black still needs work. But first, it's time for Latoya to account for her actions at mealtimes.
I'd asked Latoya not to pet Mr. Black while I was away, but she had. It didn't elicit an aggressive response, thank goodness.
Good boy.
No petting.
Oh.
Why did you suddenly start touching him?
I think it was just more impulse.
When you go too fast, you set your dog up for failure. You don't want to undo all the training you're doing. You've got to give the dog time to acclimatize. And then when you get to a point, then you can be introduced touching again.
Latoya may have ignored Victoria's advice, but Damien's not off the hook either.
What's this? Standing up and getting him to jump up.
Jump, Mr. Black. That was Damien.
You suggested, but then you did it. You can't have two rules. Either Mr. Black is allowed to jump or he's not.
Mr. Black is also getting mixed messages when it comes to playtime with Latoya.
Having a good wrestle with your dog, playing tug, I think they're fantastic games. But for now, not with this dog. You get the dog calm, you get the dog listening to you, and then gradually introduce tug under your rules back into the game. But you're encouraging him to be rough with people. If he can be rough with you, he can be rough with any of your guests.
But then what's the point of having a dog if you can't, like, cuddle with him and play with him?
Oh, look, I'm not saying you can't cuddle with him. You can walk him, you can pet him, you can love him, you can train him. I'm just saying, not at the moment.
Okay.
I think Latoya definitely got the message, but it's still gonna be up to me to watch her to make sure she's following through with everything.
And
Now that Mr. Black has had a full week with a new mealtime routine, Victoria feels it's time to take it to the next level.
when you actually start to touch a dog with food guarding issues, you have to do it very, very carefully and specifically.
Victoria uses the same technique of feeding Mr. Black bit by bit.
He's got to be in the act of eating before he gets something better. Good boy.
Then, Victoria adds a treat, paired with physical contact.
Good boy, good boy. I add food and I stroke. I add food and I stroke. So I'm pairing the touching with the process of the new food going in. So you see how that builds up a positive association in the dog's mind?
Yeah.
I think Mr. Black has come a pretty long way with the food training. I mean, before he peed on the floor and was growling at us. So the fact now that he's calm, he isn't so tense is really good for us.
You've got to continue with this for a good long while, until for him it's no big deal at all. All right? Don't stroke him too much, because then he's just going to get irritated. Okay. But just 2 or 3 times per meal.
Because the couple have been sending mixed messages about Mr. Black's jumping, Victoria wants to readdress his greeting behavior with a little help from Damien's friend, Monte.
Stay.
All right? Shut the door, don't release him yet.
Say hello.
Okay, if he jumps on you, turn around. There you go, turn around. Give me the leash. I added a leash into the whole mix because I thought it was important to be able to remove Mr. Black if he jumped up on the person or mouthed or bit at their clothes. Up. Immediately take him out. Wait for a couple of seconds. Bring him back into the room.
I think the hardest thing will be me and Latoya being patient enough to actually go through the process.
After just a few attempts, Victoria's patience pays off.
Good. Keep training, keep working at it, keep expanding this dog's mind, giving this dog good things to do so that he doesn't revert back to his negative behavior. Okay?
This whole experience has been great. Mr. Black has come such a long way. I just have to keep reminding myself that it's not about me, it's about Mr. Black. And I know that's gonna be difficult for me.
I definitely believe that I have a stronger bond with Mr. Black than I had previously. The fact that he listens to us means he respects us.
I know that certainly Latoya had it tough, and she was frustrated and she's impatient, but I really hope she sticks to the training because it's gonna make their lives so much easier. Since I left, Damien and Latoya have put in a lot of work and have continued to see changes in Mr. Black.
Things are going absolutely fabulous with Mr. Black. He's obeying our commands, and he's just a more pleasant dog to be around.
Mr. Black is doing great with the new schedule. I'm able to make it home every day, or we've been taking him to daycare a couple times a week. It's great that there's been no destruction, and we're completely confident in leaving Mr. Black home alone. Good boy, you didn't destroy the house.
With a new routine in place, Mr. Black is less bored, and Latoya and Damien can feel more comfortable about leaving him alone for reasonable periods of time.
Stop. Mr. Black still has a little bit of anxiety when friends come over, but he's a lot better than he used to be. He doesn't jump all over them while they're sitting on our couch. Good, Mr. Black.
Thanks for watching. If you love It's Me or the Dog and want more dog training tips and tricks, visit my official site, positively.com. And if you're interested in learning more about becoming a dog trainer, check out the Victoria Stilwell Academy. Links to both sites are in the description. I'll see you online.